Welcome back to Reading Bear. Today, we will take a look at some new I Don't Work Here Lady stories. And if you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comments. Let's go!
The first story is titled, This Isn't Your Pizza Ma'am. In our area there are no zoning laws, so we have homeowners associations, HOA. That way a bar can't be built next door to your dream house. You pay an annual fee and there are amenities like maybe a park and a pool. The HOA contracts with a company for lifeguarding and pool cleaning to avoid liability. Cast, LG my daughter the lifeguard, any other lifeguards working that day Karen she's lived her forever and getting you fired KH Karen's hubby JR Karen's 4 years old son if innocent family. Setting, it's a beautiful summer morning in Pool Wonderland. Children laughing and splashing and several lifeguards including my daughter sitting on her throne of peace and tranquility. Pool Wonderland has some new rules this summer. No going down the water slide with a child in your lap. No non-swimwear in the pool. If you happen to require a head covering of any kind it must be swimwear material. This is an important detail for later. Scene 1. Karen, KH take JR down the water slide. KH, sure thing. Lifeguard atop the slide, sorry sir no children riding in your lap, we do apologize, it's a new rule this year. KH, hey no problem. JR, disappointed but not an unruly little thing. Karen, what the duck? That's rude. JR, beginning to cry as I assume this tone signals to JR that once again mommy is gonna lose it. KH, it's no big deal. Karen, now addressing LG, why can't my son go down the water slide with his dad? LG, explains the rules and Karen doesn't like it but complies in a huff. Scene 2. If shows up and orders pizza. They have a small family birthday party which was scheduled in advance with tables reserved. Many of the women are wearing what I understand to be Muslim swimwear appropriate fabric for the pool and covers much of the body including a hijab. Please don't jump on me if anything I said was ignorant or incorrect about the religion or the names I used. I'm merely trying to paint a picture. I mean no offense and hope none is taken, but polite corrections or constructive comments are always welcome greater than. If decides to get in the pool. Karen also gets in the pool wearing a shirt and some shorts. LG, ma'am I'm sorry but you will have to get out of the pool. You can't wear that in the water. Karen, excuse me I pay for the privilege to swim here and you cannot tell me what to wear. LG, it's a new rule this year we can't allow people to wear cotton fibers in the water because it messes up the plumbing. Karen, what about them? She says disgustedly referring to the ladies in the if I have to get out so they. LG, now realizing she's dealing with a racist. Ma'am they wearing swimwear, you are not. Karen, we'll see about that. At this point Karen is now being told by the lifeguard supervisor on duty being told the same thing. Nice try Karen. Scene 3. Pizza arrives. There are 4 and drinks and breadsticks. Karen gets up and takes the pizza which was paid for already I imagine as no money changed hands. Not even for a tip. Karen juggles all this to her table and sticks her legs in the water on the side of the pool. Another pizza arrives and the if is approached by a lifeguard as they were expecting a delivery. If says no that isn't ours. We ordered 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks from less than not that pizza place greater than. LG looks around and sees less than gasp greater than 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks on Karen's table. LG to if, I bet I know who this belongs to, let me help you. Less than she's thrilled after Karen has been such a nasty greater than she didn't even say anything. LG walked to the table, set the pizza down and helped the if carry the 4 pizzas and drinks and breadsticks. Karen, excuse me where do you think you're going with our food? LG, this pizza isn't your pizza ma'am. She has the order on her phone matching the pizza place and the order. Your pizza was delivered a moment ago and on your table. Karen glances back in confusion covering her embarrassment, it wasn't even the same damn delivery place, with pure rage now yelling at LG and demanding the police be called. LG, why would you call the police? Karen, you have been harassing me all day and I know you have been staring at my son. I have lived her for years and I'm going to the HOA board to have you fired. LG laughs nervously and turns and walks back to her stand. My daughter has bad anxiety and for years, she's perfected a stonewall exterior where you think she doesn't care but she will cry later because I mean she's human. Karen trailing behind and yelling expletives now. Karen proceeds to use her phone camera to video my daughter hoping to catch her doing what? I don't even know. I mean she's literally paid to watch and scan patrons of the pool. That's most of your damn job as a lifeguard. By the end of the day the police have been called because Karen insisted the staff was out of line. Karen's disruptive behavior has actually bothered other patrons, mostly the as ugly comments about swimwear were overheard and made them uncomfortable. It was following guards and taking cell phone video that actually got Karen and her family kicked out. Many lifeguards are minors and this made the staff uncomfortable. Not to mention it's ludicrous to be distracting a first responder from their job. Karen did not return to the pool for the remainder of the summer. Not because she was banned. Hopefully she went home and looked in the mirror and was too embarrassed by her behavior. The next story is titled, Karen, I'm stressed and can't help you with your photos. Karen op, me G, my girlfriend. Everything started with my girlfriend and me rushing into a decoration store and afterwards to a famous store, known for mostly hygienic stuff, shampoo, lotion, baby stuff, to get a little present for a friend. As a side note, everything takes place in Germany. Because of the whole COVID-19, we are only allowed to go into the market with masks and a cart, and of course, if you are in a hurry, all things you have to do fast are either very slow or broken. Back to the main story, so we went inside the hygienic store after waiting 10 minutes to get a cart and went straight to the photo printer. I don't know why the Germans put these things here, but for me it seems logical, anyway. Of course all three were occupied. After again 10 minutes and running short on time, we had around 15 minutes left, we could print our photos. Sadly the first machine had some kind of problem with the photos, so we changed to another machine, which had same problem, so third time's the charm and the last machine was good. My girlfriend and me stood there and minded our business to get everything settled fast, until one family stood near to us with a child, 4 to 6 years old, strapped with some kind of blanket to the back of the mother. The child was screaming so loud and the parents just ignored it, but everyone around them was visibly annoyed. G started to get a headache of it. Gee, I can't wait here, my ear's gonna explode soon, can I go away and get some tights? Quote. Me, sure, I'm gonna handle all the photos here. That was probably some kind of signal for K. As soon as G went to get her stuff, she started to whisper something. K, what kind of photos? Where is it? How? Quote. She was standing alone there and talked to herself, nothing that special, I do the same thing sometimes. Then she started to talk louder and me doing my stuff and clearly not minding her, was the trigger. She stepped forward to me and said, I know you heard me, help me here. Quote. Me, I'm sorry, could you wait a bit? K, how long should I wait? I just want to print out my photos. And I can't connect my phone to that stupid machine. Quote. Me, watching fast at her machine, seeing that she doesn't even press and was still on the home screen. Me, you have to press here and then on photos and afterward just click on mobile and connect it trough cable. After that I went back to my machine and started to print some of my photos. Kay started to get visibly angry at me and started to talk to me like I don't understand her. Kay, I want to connect my phone. Do it. That's the point in getting annoyed. I'm looking at her screen again and she didn't do anything again. There was just a window with two options, Android and Apple. I looked at her phone, pressed on Android, and the only thing she had to do was some clicks on her phone and connect the cable. G returned. G, I have everything, are the photos done? Me, no, this lady asked for help and I'm trying to. G starts to talk in another language to me. G, I think you didn't see it, but she didn't do anything, she only wants you to do all her stuff. Me, understanding, what kind of a dumbass I am. Me told Kay polite, that I have to do my things now and that I am in a hurry. She started to get furious, looked back at me and her machine for about 3 minutes. Then she left the machine with some big steps and visibly very angry. Afterwards I checked her machine and she did nothing again. So G was totally right. We finished our photos and went to the checkout. Lesson of the story, don't be a Karen and don't let other do your stuff, because if you're laziness. The next story is titled Don't Mess with 6'3" muscled Aussie rugby player. In the early 2000s the UK had working holiday visas, so a lot of 20-something Aussies, Kiwis and Saffers worked in almost every pub and menial job there was. I house shared with a few Aussies and the boys were all part of the local rugby club. So after practice on a Saturday afternoon the boys hit up the local supermarket to stock up on beverages for the week. The local supermarket was also close to some ladyship who was 22nd cousin of the Queen's Corgis driver or some sort, who also happens to be a huge Karen. So the rugby lads were all at the supermarket and there were two elderly ladies shopping as well. I was told the story, so according to the boys they were between 80 and 100, being young and just lovely. The captain, an Aussie, started helping the two old ladies by pretending to be a knight in shining armor with "your ladyship" and "my lady," and having the two giggling like schoolgirls. He even walked then to their car when they were finished and loading up their car. Just as her actual ladyship Mypooper Stinkerton was pushing her trolley to her Range Rover parked over two handicap parkings. Can you sheep shaggers stop fussing over those old biddies and do your job? What does a lady have to do to get good help around here? Q10 plus Aussies, Kiwis and South African rugby players turning towards the lady Karen. Before anybody could reply the captain again was there to save the day. "I'm sorry, your ladyship. Please give me your keys and I will load your vehicle." He picks up the whole trolley and throws it in the back of the offending Range Rover, followed by the keys, and slams the boot shut. "You locked my keys in my car, you convict. We don't work here, you." Insert choice insult. The next story is titled I Don't Work Here, I Work in Another Store. This happened a couple of years ago. I work on a supermarket who is close to my house. Nothing fancy, I just cut ham, cheese and the in-between, but with the time I memorized a lot weight codes of the products, put the code, weight the product and get a barcode to pay it. I was on my way to home after a short day. I stopped by the market close to my college to buy some ham and cheese. This market was the same brand as the one I work, so I can use my employee discount. There was just one lady on the line in front of me, but the employee was really nervous, looking for something on a notepad. The woman wasn't buttered or angry, but the boy was embarrassed anyways. I recognized what he was doing. It happened to me too when I was new, so I told him, "Are you looking for the code?" He, "Yes." Me, "What is that?" referring to the ham. He, "Brand name, turkey ham." Me, "It's code." He, "Oh, thank you." The boy and the woman thanked me. The woman just leave and the boy asked me if I worked there. I replied yes, but in another establishment. He asked me for some other codes that he couldn't find. I asked for my ham and cheese when I hear an angry, "If you're done with the chatting, I need more of this." Then an angry woman shoved a bag of a fancy coffee brand into my chest and say, "Now, I don't have your time." The woman, who I'm going to call Kay, was like 1.60 meters tall, probably in her later 20s or early 30s, with some overweight, wearing sunglasses, yes, inside a building, with an "I'm rich, important and better than you, I'm a costumer, you work for me" expression, and even with the Karen haircut. I was going to tell her that I didn't work there, but interrupt me and said, "Hurry up." I give her coffee back and told her, "I don't work." Kay, "I don't care, I don't have your time." Me, "I don't work here." Kay, "I heard you saying you work here, so hurry up." Me, "Yeah, but I don't work here, I work in another brand name, now stop bothering me." Kay, "Then you work here, bring me my ducking coffee, you." Insulting words. I don't tolerate being insulted even at work, so I just grabbed my things, turned around and say on an audible tone, "Stupid old hag." Kay, grabbing my arm and with a furious expression, "What did you say, you little crap? I'm actually 1.85, pretty tall for my county average height." Me, "Don't touch me, you ducking idiot." Instead of getting on an insult fight, the Spanish language have a rich and varied amount of insults. I just walked away because tall man arguing with small woman has horrible preconceptions against men, but she chased me for half of the store, throwing threats and demanding me to give her my name so she can fire me. A lot of effort for someone on a hurry. Eventually she disappeared and I thought that was the end, but it wasn't. I already had everything I wanted from the store, but instead of going to the cash registers I went to the entrance where I talked with a security guard. Security guard, "Hi sir, sorry but you need to pay there," pointing at the registers. Me, "Yeah, I know, but I just had a crazy woman yelling at me for no reason. She was saying something about a coffee or something." Security guard, "Oh, you are him. Name of the worker I helped, told us about you. My partner was looking for you and the woman. Please stay here a moment." The security guard talked with someone on his radio, and a moment later the manager showed up, being followed by the rude woman. She started to demand for me to get fired. The manager told her that he can't do that because he wasn't my boss. Then the woman demanded to get my name, but I just told her to duck off. Finally after some more insults and screams, the manager just asked me if I needed something else. I said no, I just want to leave. He just apologized to me, told me I was free to go and that the woman was going to be contained until I was out of the store. Again, that wasn't the end. I was waiting to cross the street when I saw that woman coming up to me with pure rage on her face, making fists and swearing like a sailor. This time I lost all my patience. I turned around to face her and in a furious voice I just yelled, "Get any closer and I'm gonna break your face." This sounded a little violent, but my plan was just to scare her. If that didn't work, I was going to push her and go back to the store to ask them to call the police. Luckily this worked. Maybe common sense took the control and she realized that attacking an angry tall guy she was bothering, threatening and following on an almost empty street over something she started and continued wasn't a good idea. After that she went back to the store and I went home. So, I helped an employee because I work in the same supermarket brand. An angry Karen hear it and demand for me to work and look for a fancy coffee she wanted. She insists in making me work after I told her I didn't work there. She follows me around the store insulting me, threatening me and demanding my name so I can be fired because I insulted back. I asked the guards for help and she even followed me outside the store to attack me, and finally she went back after I threatened her with fighting back if she come any closer. The next story is titled The Double IDWH Whammy, late 2000s. Background: I'm shy about jack squat. I work in healthcare tech and I was a hospital volunteer growing up. Periods don't bother me. Squeamish men can piss up a flagpole AFAIC. I live near a mall. A big one, 3 floors with 4 anchor stores. I'm a professional and I wear a shirt and tie to work every day, pressed slacks, nice shoes. I have my work ID and Maglock door card on my belt. Cast: me Karen 1, K1, Karen 2, K2. I'm on my way home and my wife calls asking if I will pick up feminine products, period pads, guys, for her. I swing by the mall as it's literally 2 minutes from my exit, and I go to a big store named for something a marksman would aim at. I enter the aisle for feminine products looking for my wife's brand of pad. No luck. I assume that I'm the moron and so I keep looking, scanning the aisle. K1, where's brand I happen to be looking for too? Me, no idea ma'am. If you see any let me know. K1, what? You're the one who works here, not me. Why would I help you find your own products? Me, no ma'am, I don't work here. I'm looking for pad brand for my wife. K1, I can see you're a manager, you even have a tag. Now help me find brand of pad. Me, I don't work here. I work for company I really work for. This is my ID and door badge. Wanna see? I pull it off my belt and show her. The logo is red, but it looks nothing like the store named after a block of hay that an archer would shoot at. K1 proceeds to huff and move on. So do I. This store really missed the mark. I move on down the mall to the grocery store that anchors the other end. Yes, this mall is big enough to have a full grocery store and a department store that also sells groceries. I go looking for pad brand. Enter Karen 2. The store did have the pads I needed to get, but I hadn't picked up the pads yet, so my hands were empty. To save space, the conversation was almost identical, except that she wasn't looking for the same pad brand. She wanted to know where something else was, and she didn't huff and leave. She went full Karen before the badge was shown. K2, well, what are you doing in the feminine products aisle if you aren't a manager? Me, my wife needs. K2, that's a likely story. Show me your badge there. Me, here you go. K2 doesn't register the completely different logo. This store is not red themed. She just wants my name. K2, I'm going to call general manager. My husband knows him because he used to work here and I'm going to have you fired. Me, okay, but when you do that, tell him I quit. K2, sputtering, you're a hole, do you know that? Lazy, and so it went. The woman practically spitting on me as she spat expletives. I, having had it, and having picked up the pads by now, because I'm not stopping for some batty Karen, head to the only express checkout lane with an employee working. K2 follows. K2 cuts ahead of me. K2 assails the poor checkout clerk. K2, this man has been accosting me. How dare you employ such a horrible manager? I'm going have him fired. Me, would you call security? This Euro hash and plus has been accosting me and I'm about to lose it. K2 screeched. Literally screeched. There is nothing more powerful than delivering the worst curse word possible in a matter-of-fact voice to somebody who has already lost their cool 10 miles back and is now in full Karen mode. The "how dare you"s were almost as prevalent as the purse clutching. Manager comes over. K2 gets the truth from the horse's mouth. Being Karen, she then proceeds to huff and say that the GM will hear about how badly she's being treated and so forth. I decline to press charges because honestly I don't want to spend any more days talking to lawyers or cops than I have to for my job. Twice in one day in one mall because I'm not afraid to buy period pads, tampons, or any other product my wife needs. The next story is titled "Old Lady Mistakes Mugger as Employee." I work for a convenience store that has a strict always comply with muggers policy, I think because it's cheaper for them to deal with losing whatever's in the register than fighting a suit from an employee hurt defending it. I've worked here off and on for the last 5 years and I've been in the store for 6 robberies. They're usually pretty straightforward. Guy comes in, give me the money, we do, they leave, we call the cops don't do anything. We have cameras but this neighborhood has such bigger problems they never follow up on petty theft. One of those times, though, the kid didn't wear a mask. Just a hoodie. Comes in with the hood up, young kid, couldn't have been more than 18 to 20. He paces around for a while, I guess trying to get his nerve up. I figured he was an underage kid trying to work up the courage to buy some beer at first. It was really early in the morning and we were the only people in the store. He approaches the register and says he has a gun, doesn't pull it out, was probably bluffing, and that he won't use it if I just give him money. Talking all tough about don't try anything today, I'm not the one, etc. I pop open the register and he jumps behind the counter to take the money out. As he's doing this, an old woman comes in. Now I was getting really nervous because I didn't want the old lady to be in a dangerous situation, but before I could react, she recognizes the kid. She runs up to him and goes, "Oh Noah. Hello dear. How are you?" And the kid just freezes behind the counter, hands full of cash. She's older and I guess deaf, so she's shouting, "I didn't realize you'd gotten a job. Good for you dear. You know I just saw your mama the other day and she didn't mention it." He's like, "No, I don't," but she isn't listening. "Your mama never tells me anything. I don't work, don't interrupt me hun. Anyways, your mama never tells me anything." And she's just chattering on, and she starts shopping. I'm just standing there frozen, waiting to see how this plays out, with the guy still behind the register with me. The kid was almost a foot taller than me, and I didn't want to get into an altercation if I could help it. She goes through and she's shopping and she goes, "Noah, hun, could you help me reach this please?" And he's like, "I don't," and she's like, "What are you going to make me beg here?" So he goes over and dead ass starts helping her get things from high shelves. She's like, "Is this really the best price you've got for this?" And he's like, yeah. While he's doing this I call the cops. I think he knows I must have been doing that because he's beyond antsy. At one point he tried to bail but she was like, "Hold on, don't clock out yet, I'll just be a minute. I want to see you at work. This is so exciting. You're all grown up." So he's standing there awkward and panicked, trying to make a decision. Eventually she goes to check out, and I scan her items, keeping an eye on him. She goes, "Oh no, can Noah check me out? He's my friend's son. I didn't know I was visiting him at work. This is so exciting." Wanting to keep things cool until she was out of the store on the off chance the kid did have a weapon of some kind or wasn't stable, I just stepped aside and let him check her out. He didn't really know how to use the scanner or anything, but he got through it. She leaves. Once she's walked out, he runs out of the store and jumps into a car. He didn't get any money from us. It was another 20 minutes before the cops got there, so it wouldn't have mattered either way. But that was the most memorable robbery for me, as robberies go. Not sure if this story fits this sub, but when I saw the sub I had to share this one. I mean, he technically was working, kind of. Just not for us, haha. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comment.